my dear friends. There comes a moment in every life where the heart bears a weight that cannot be seen, only felt a quiet ache, a silent scream. And yet we often find ourselves surrounded by people who do not seem to act on what they surely must sense. Why then do they not reach out? Why do they not intervene when they must know you are hurting? This is not to say they are cruel or indifferent, for human beings are far too complex for such simple labels. Instead, let us explore this mystery not as a problem to be solved, but as a lesson to be understood, a reflection of our shared experience. You see, life has a way of weaving its story, not with straight lines, but with spirals, loops, and meandering paths. And in this intricate dance, your pain, though uniquely yours, resonates as a chord in the universal melody. But the question is not merely about their awareness, it is about what this shared silence is inviting you to discover. Pain is not an isolated phenomenon. It is a thread that weaves through the fabric of every human experience. At times it feels as though your suffering is uniquely yours, a solitary storm no one else could possibly understand. But the truth, profound and humbling, is that pain is one of the few things that connects us all. Consider this: no matter where a person is born, what language they speak, or what beliefs they hold, everyone has known the sting of loss, the ache of longing, or the weight of despair. It is not a matter of if one will encounter pain, but when. This shared inevitability binds us in a way that transcends all surface differences. Yet we often guard our pain as if it were a shameful secret, forgetting that it is the very thing that makes us human. When you hurt, you are participating in a profound and universal truth of existence. Just as joy cannot exist without sorrow, our moments of suffering serve as reminders of the depth and richness of life. This understanding should not make you dismiss your pain as trivial or unimportant. Rather, it should be a source of comfort. You are not alone in your struggle. Somewhere, at this very moment, someone else feels something similar. Though their circumstances may differ, the underlying emotions, grief, confusion, frustration, are shared. When you embrace the universality of pain, it becomes easier to see others with compassion. Their silence in the face of your suffering may stem not from indifference, but from their own battles. Recognizing this can dissolve resentment and foster empathy. Ultimately, pain reminds us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. It invites us to see our struggles not as punishments or failures, but as a shared experience that unites us with every other being who has ever lived. In this light, pain becomes not just a burden to bear, but a bridge to understanding and connection. Silence, especially in moments of pain, can feel like abandonment. You look outward, hoping for someone to acknowledge your suffering, to validate it with words or actions. But instead you encounter a void, a quiet that can be deafening. Yet this silence, uncomfortable as it may be, is not necessarily a dismissal of your pain. Instead, it is a mirror reflecting truths about your inner world that you might otherwise overlook. When others do not respond to your hurt, it prompts you to turn inward. What is it you truly seek in those moments? Is it reassurance, understanding, or a solution? This reflection forces you to confront the source of your pain and your relationship with it. You may discover that while others can offer comfort, the deepest healing must come from within. Silence can also reveal your expectations. Perhaps you assume that others should know, should act, should care in a particular way. But this expectation is often a projection of your own desires and fears. The silence challenges you to let go of those assumptions and see the situation as it truly is, a neutral space, neither inherently kind nor cruel, but simply what it is. Moreover, silence invites you to listen not to others, but to yourself. In the absence of external noise, your inner voice becomes clearer. What is it saying? Does it whisper words of self-compassion, or does it echo with self-judgment? The way you interpret silence can reveal how you speak to yourself in times of struggle. Lastly, silence can be a gift of presence. When someone does not immediately rush to fill the space with words or actions, it might be their way of allowing you to process your feelings without interference. It is not always neglect sometimes, it is a profound respect for your autonomy and your journey. Through this lens, silence transforms from an absence into an opportunity. It encourages you to engage with your pain, not as something to be avoided or handed off to others, but as a teacher guiding you toward deeper self-awareness. When you meet this silence with curiosity instead of resistance, it can lead to profound insights and ultimately a greater sense of peace. Human beings are intricate creatures, each shaped by a unique blend of experiences, emotions, and perspectives. When you are hurting, it can feel incomprehensible that others don't respond in the way you hope or expect. Surely they must see your pain, sense your distress, and feel compelled to act. But the truth is far more nuanced. Understanding another person's suffering is an extraordinarily complex task. Each person views the world through the lens of their own experiences. Just as a prism refracts light into different colors, their past shapes how they interpret your pain. What seems obvious to you might not register the same way to someone else, not because they are indifferent, but because their understanding operates through a different filter. Even when others recognize your struggle, they may not know how to respond. Pain is deeply personal, and for many the fear of saying or doing the wrong thing can be paralyzing. Their silence is not always neglect. It may stem from uncertainty, insecurity, or their own unresolved emotions. Consider, too, that some people have been taught to avoid pain, both their own and others. They may have learned to retreat from discomfort or believe that giving you space is the kindest action they can take. In such cases, their apparent lack of action might be their way of respecting your process, even if it feels isolating to you. There's also the reality that people are often preoccupied with their own inner worlds. Just as you are navigating your pain, others are contending with their own struggles, fears, and distractions. Their silence might not reflect a lack of care, but rather a limitation of their bandwidth in that moment. Understanding, then, is not as simple as awareness. It involves bridging the gap between two complex inner landscapes, each shaped by a lifetime of experiences. This is no small task, and the inevitable imperfections in this process do not necessarily indicate a lack of love or concern. This complexity invites you to approach others with patience and empathy. Just as you wish for your pain to be understood, consider that they, too, may wish for the same. By recognizing the intricacies of human perception, you can release the expectation of perfect understanding and find solace in the shared effort to connect, however imperfectly it may be. In this way, the complexity of understanding becomes a lesson in compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. It reminds you that even when words and actions fall short, the very act of attempting to understand is an expression of our shared humanity. Compassion is the quiet force that binds us to one another, a profound acknowledgement of our shared humanity. It is the ability to see another's pain, not as an abstract idea, but as something deeply real, something you yourself might have felt or could one day feel. When you are hurting, compassion can come from others, but it must also come from within. Often we think of compassion as something that flows outward, a gift we give to others in their time of need, but compassion begins at home, in the way you treat yourself. When you are suffering, there is often a voice inside that criticizes, blames, or dismisses your pain, as though enduring hardship without flinching were a badge of honor. Yet true compassion whispers a gentler message: it's okay to feel this. It's okay to be human. Self-compassion is not indulgence, it is the foundation of healing. It means allowing yourself to experience your emotions without judgment, to rest when you are weary, and to seek help when you need it. It is an act of courage to treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a dear friend. Compassion for others, too, is an essential element of the human experience. When someone witnesses your pain but does not act as you hoped, it's easy to label them as uncaring. But compassion invites you to look deeper. Perhaps they are unsure of what to do or overwhelmed by their own struggles. Compassion allows you to see their silence not as a rejection, but as a reflection of their own humanity, a humanity as complex and fallible as your own. Moreover, compassion transforms pain into connection. When you respond to your suffering with compassion, it softens the edges of your experience, making it easier to reach out to others. It reminds you that your pain, while personal, is not isolated, is part of the vast tapestry of life. And in recognizing this, you can begin to see others not as separate from your journey, but as fellow travelers. Compassion also teaches that you do not need to fix or solve every problem to be present for someone in pain. Sometimes simply bearing witness, offering a listening ear, a kind word, or a silent presence is enough. Compassion is not about grand gestures, it is about the small, consistent acts of care that remind us we are not alone. Growth through struggle does not mean romanticizing pain or pretending it is easy. Rather, it is about recognizing that challenges are not merely obstacles to overcome, but opportunities to transform. Struggle forces you to confront the limits of your understanding, your patience, and your strength, pushing you to discover depths within yourself that you might never have explored otherwise. Think of a seed buried in the soil. In the dark and unseen, it begins to push against the resistance of the earth, breaking through its shell and reaching for the surface. Without that struggle, the seed would never become a tree. Similarly, the pressure and tension of life's difficulties often serve as the catalyst for our own growth, propelling us toward new perspectives, skills, and resilience. Struggle teaches you what truly matters. In the midst of hardship, the noise of the trivial often fades away, leaving only what is essential. It sharpens your focus and clarifies your values, helping you realign with your authentic self. It also cultivates empathy. When you have walked through the fire of your own struggles, you are better equipped to understand and support others in theirs. Your pain becomes a bridge, connecting you to others who may feel isolated or unseen. In this way, struggle not only shapes you, but also enriches your capacity to contribute to the lives of those around you. Growth through struggle also teaches the art of surrender, not as a sign of defeat, but as an acceptance of what is beyond your control. When you stop resisting the reality of your situation, you free yourself to focus on what can be changed, opening the door to healing and transformation. In the end, the struggles you endure shape you into a fuller, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. They remind you that while pain is inevitable, suffering can lead to strength, and hardship can pave the way to wholeness. Growth through struggle is not about avoiding the storms of life, it is about learning to dance in the rain. Life is not a solitary journey, it is an intricate dance of relationships, interactions, and shared existence. At every moment, you are connected to a vast web of life seen and unseen, near and far. This interconnection is not merely a poetic idea, but a fundamental reality of existence, one that shapes every experience, including your moments of pain and healing. When you hurt, it is tempting to feel isolated, as though your suffering sets you apart from the rest of the world. But this is an illusion. The truth is that your pain is not a private island, but a thread in the shared tapestry of human experience. What you feel ripples outward, touching others in ways you may not immediately perceive. In this dance of interconnection, everyone plays a role, often without even realizing it. A stranger's smile might lighten your burden on a difficult day, just as your silent strength might inspire someone else to persevere. The actions or inactions of others are part of the rhythm, sometimes harmonizing with your own, sometimes creating dissonance. Yet even in dissonance, there is something to learn. Consider how nature embodies this interconnectedness. The wind that carries seeds to fertile ground also shapes the landscape. The river nourishes the earth and carves its path simultaneously. Similarly, your interactions with others, whether nurturing or challenging, shape both you and them. In this way, the dance of interconnection is not about perfect harmony, but about the interplay of influence and growth. When others seem distant or unresponsive to your pain, it does not mean they are separate from your journey. They may be playing a different role in the dance, one that is not immediately clear. Their silence might be an invitation for you to explore your own strength, or their presence might be a quiet reminder that connection is not always verbal. Interconnection also reveals the power of small acts. A kind word, a listening ear, or even your willingness to confront your struggles with courage, all of these create ripples in the web of existence. Just as a single drop of water creates waves across a pond, your choices and actions influence the greater whole in ways you may never fully see. Yet this dance is not one-sided. While you influence others, you are also shaped by them. The wisdom of those who came before, the support of those who stand beside you, and even the challenges posed by those who oppose you, all of these contribute to your growth and understanding. To embrace the dance of interconnection is to recognize that your life is not a solitary note but part of a symphony. It invites you to move with the rhythm, to contribute your unique expression while honoring the presence of others. It is a call to see your pain, joy, and existence not as separate, but as part of a greater, ever-evolving whole. In this realization there is comfort. You are never truly alone. Every breath, every thought, every emotion is part of the endless, dynamic interplay of life. To participate in this dance is not just to live it, is to thrive in harmony with the beautiful, complex web of existence. Life is a profound and intricate mystery, one that defies tidy explanations and resists the confines of certainty. We are drawn to seek answers, to categorize and control, to make sense of the chaos around us. Yet the deeper truths of existence are not problems to be solved, they are mysteries to be lived, felt, and embraced. When you are hurting, the mind often demands answers. Why is this happening? What does it mean? When will it end? But these questions, though natural, can entangle you in a web of frustration and resistance. The mystery of life doesn't offer easy answers, not because it is cruel, but because its lessons unfold in their own time, often beyond the reach of immediate understanding. Embracing the mystery begins with surrendering the need to control or explain everything. This is not a defeat, but an act of profound courage. It means acknowledging that some aspects of life, your pain, the silence of others, the twists and turns of your journey, may never make perfect sense. And that is okay. The beauty of the mystery lies not in its clarity, but in its depth. Consider the natural world. The stars in the sky, the currents of the ocean, the growth of a tree, each is governed by forces far beyond our comprehension. Yet their mystery does not diminish their beauty. In fact, it is the very absence of complete understanding that fills us with awe. Similarly, the mysteries of your own life, your struggles, relationships, and growth are part of a grand, unfolding story that is both deeply personal and universally shared. Mystery also invites you to live fully in the present. When you stop fixating on answers, you open yourself to the richness of the moment. You begin to see that life is not a puzzle to be solved, but an experience to be felt. Your pain, your joy, your confusion, each is a thread in the intricate tapestry of existence, worthy of your attention and reverence. Moreover, mystery fosters humility and wonder. It reminds you that you are part of something vast and unknowable, a cosmic dance far greater than the sum of its parts. This realization can be deeply liberating. It allows you to let go of the need to have everything figured out, freeing you to move through life with grace and openness. Embracing the mystery does not mean ignoring your pain or pretending it doesn't matter. It means accepting that life's greatest lessons often arise not from answers but from questions. It means finding peace in the uncertainty, trusting that even in the midst of confusion, there is meaning and purpose waiting to emerge. Ultimately, the mystery of life is not something to fear, it is something to cherish. It is the source of creativity, growth, and transformation. By embracing it, you allow yourself to be both a seeker and a participant, both a question and an answer. And in doing so, you discover that the mystery is not something outside of you. It is you unfolding moment by moment in the grand eternal dance of existence. And so, as we stand amidst the ever-shifting tides of life, let us remember this pain is not a flaw in the design. It is a part of the masterpiece. In silence, in struggle, in the moments when understanding eludes us, there is still connection, still compassion, still growth. Embrace your pain not as a burden to escape, but as a teacher guiding you to deeper truths. Allow silence to reflect your inner strength, struggle to shape your resilience, and mystery to ignite your wonder. Recognize the invisible threads that bind you to others, the quiet gestures of care, the shared universality of feeling, the mutual dance of being. For in all of this, your joy, your sorrow, your questions, and your revelations, you are not separate. You are part of a greater whole, a living, breathing embodiment of the vast and infinite interplay of existence. So go forth with an open heart. Carry the lessons of your pain and the wisdom of your journey and offer them to the world as gifts of understanding, compassion, and connection. For in doing so, you do not merely endure life, you illuminate it. And that is where true healing begins. Let us walk this path together, not in perfection, but in shared humanity, with courage, with humility, and above all, with love.